Check, check. Oh, I think I might need some more volume on that mic. I am. Microphone 2. I want to make sure I don't clip. I was always nervous about that because I don't have this set up to monitor properly. But we're live. Oh, I've been live for like 26 seconds. How's it going? All right. Let's talk about some stuff. Oh, I don't have my light on. Hey. Trying to yellow tone on my ring light as opposed to just a bright white. But it's a Monday. I'm having some coffee in the afternoon. Then I have to have some real food once I'm done this. Because I've got a day ahead of me. Just finished a quick install. Yeah. In the morning here. And I have some lessons this evening. So, yeah, eventually I'll get to... I want to do a series... of videos on teaching music. I think that's something that's coming down the pipe. But, I don't know. I've just mostly done product reviews so far, so I don't know how that'll go. But we'll see. We'll see if there's an appetite for it. I will do it. But let's take a look at some stuff. So I just put out a video talking about these two items here. And I very purposely avoided talking in that video about some controversy that's been going on around these that I think was particularly dumb. It's the oldest... one of the oldest things you will hear in any industry is that somebody got paid to do a review. Now, there are reviewers who get paid by companies to do a review of their product. That is a thing that actually exists. But generally speaking, the pay isn't, hey, review my product. It's, and I'll pay you X amount if you give me a good review. It's, hey, review my product. I know you're good at reviews. That's mostly what I have seen in this industry. Now, I'm a special case. I'm a retailer, right? I own a small music store, so I sell stuff. I am under NDA for like 20 companies versus, some of the bigger DJ YouTubers who are under NDA from like 4. That's not to like brag, I'm so cool because I'm under NDA. No, I just mean I, without having any clout in this whatsoever, have an NDA just because I work with these companies. NDAs are not a uncommon thing. And generally all they mean is it's a non-disclosure agreement. Non-disclosure agreement. I think I might have slurred there. It's been a long year. Is it over yet? But when it comes to product review stuff or like a product that's coming out, I kid you not, the NDA stuff I receive is I get an email saying, hey, here's a product coming out. It's under NDA. And that's all they tell me. And then because I'm a retailer, I have to follow that or they get mad at me and then I'm not allowed to carry it. Now, to an extent, there are exceptions to this. We've seen a lot of leaked products in the past where somebody accidentally puts up a product page early because, somebody just hits a button or forgets to, puts a 01 instead of a 10 for the date and things like that. So you will see some instances of people who are under an NDA and won't badmouth a product. That does happen. There are a few guitar reviewers that I follow who are very open about this, where if they get sent a product that they would trash into the ground, they will actually tell the person who sent the product, hey, do you actually want me to review this? This will not go well for you. that is almost more common than, well, that is more common than, hey, we're paying for a good review. Um, they're getting paid to do a good review is probably one of the riskiest moves you can make in the industry, because if it ever comes out that you've actually done it, you will instantly lose all credibility. And thankfully, a lot of the guys I've been seeing in this AlphaTheta fiasco that's been going on have been completely open about the fact that they have an NDA with AlphaTheta / Pioneer. And yeah, like if they weren't disclosing that, I think I would actually have more of a problem with it. Yeah. But yeah, I there was like a weird controversy around this. I think it was Rick Webb, intentionally or unintentionally, alluded to how you can't trust a bunch of reviewers because they're all under NDA and stuff. It was pointed out to him that that is basically him saying, well, this that means everybody's bought and paid for. Like, that's why nobody's giving these things bad reviews. The fact of the matter is, I watched the reviews on the Omnis Duo and the Wave 8, like the people who actually got their hands on them. A lot of them were pretty critical about the same problems that people had, which I thought was kind of funny, right? I think I caught the Cleveland Terry's live stream talking about the Omnis Duo and some of the weird backlash stuff he was finding that he was having. People were complaining that he didn't point out things that he did. That, like, or he didn't complain enough about something, right? That's always weird to me, because like if something's a big deal to me, I will drill it into the ground, right? I talked about the Wave 8 in one of my last I like this website. Whoever put this together, even though it's pretty simple up here, like I would probably change the font there, but this, like, it zooms in a little as you hover over stuff. That's pretty sweet. But I did a whole thing about the Wave 8 and how the spec sheet on it makes me not trust the product. And I dug into that because that is a big pet peeve of mine. But I'm not going to finger wag at a reviewer who has their hands on one and gets to test it for not talking about that. So I think a lot of that weird controversy stuff, I think it's starting to fade away. It ended up on Reddit, which is always a problem, because from what I've heard, is Rick Webb, whether he needed to or not, he apologized for the insinuation, because like I said, I think he genuinely didn't realize that people were going to take it that far, in terms of just basically saying that he's calling them cheats and liars, that kind of thing. So he apologized about that, and clarified everything. And I haven't watched either of the videos on it. I don't mind Rick Webb's stuff. It's just not for me. There's something about his videos and stuff. I've listened to his podcast stuff that he's done on and off. That he'll do. Maybe this is why I don't like him. I like his podcast, and then he'll do 2 episodes, and then they won't do an episode for like a year and a half. But yeah, no, I like his videos all fine and dandy, but I haven't bothered to dig too deep into the controversy because I don't think it is one. I think a lot of people don't realize that, yeah, like, I'm not going to go and bash this company too much if I want to work with them in the future. And I might work with, like, Pioneer eventually, right? I own a small music store, but it has been getting bigger, or AlphaTheta now. And if they watch my video talking about my problems with the Wave 8, I think I said it in a respectful enough way that they'd probably take the criticism and say, yeah, you know what? Okay, cool. That's a pet peeve of yours. Maybe that product isn't for you, but here are some other products that we sell. I have a few other brands that I can get that also have not listed frequency response. Well, they listed frequency response. They've not listed sound pressure output. So I'm very weary to get them in, but they have offered to let me test them. So I might do that. I just don't want to test them until I have the funds to buy them if I end up liking them. So, yeah. yeah, like I said, that weird controversy, dumb. I do think that there's a bit of uh, there's a really good video by ContraPoints on envy versus jealousy. Um, and to paraphrase it, like jealousy is, oh, you have that, oh, I really want that. Envy is, you have that, and I think I deserve that more than you. It was a pretty bad summary of the whole thing. And I hate to say it, I think a bit of that happens with some of these influencers and product reviewers who get to try all the new toys and get stuff legitimately given to them for free, right? Like I've had some microphones sent to me to review where all I had to do was pay the shipping, like that kind of stuff. It's nice to have, but when you're somebody who is big enough in this and they're getting stuff like this sent ahead of time, they get to test it, they get to do reviews and stuff for it ahead of time, they get to try all the new toys. I can see, like, I'm jealous of that, but I'm not envious, right? I don't want it taken away from them. But I think that does come up of like, no, these guys, they're corrupt. They shouldn't be doing this stuff. I should be the one doing this stuff. I think there might be a bit of that going on, but I don't want to speak for people's intent on it because again, it's just a bunch of people putting one sentence opinions of, yeah, I haven't trusted reviewers in years. And it's like, well, then why do you care about this controversy if you don't listen to them? But anyway, it's kind of unfortunate that AlphaTheta got kind of stuck in the middle of this weird controversy around NDAs and reviewers because AlphaTheta didn't do anything. The reviewers didn't really do anything wrong either. Like you said, like I think it was Digital DJ Tips did like a pretty critical review of the Wave 8. Almost every problem I have with the Omnis Duo, other than its looks, because I'm not keen on them. But things like not having streaming out of the box, no physical EQs for the mics, though I think they're in the software, but I haven't tried one. Like stuff like that. It all got brought up, right? Everybody who reviewed this thing talked about all the problems that I think I might have had with it. So I don't know why anybody would look at the Omnis Duo reviews and think, man, those guys just gave them a complete pass. And yeah, the Wave 8, like I said, there's no way for me to evaluate anything about this thing because it's a speaker that has no specs available. So I'll still be a little salty about that. But again, this NDA thing, I don't think this was AlphaTheta's fault at all. I don't think it was any of the creators. I don't even think it was Rick Webb's fault, right? He put up a video, little rage baity, and it blew out of proportion, and people that aren't part of his community came after other people, right? It's kind of hard to finger wag too hard at anybody. So and again, I think he's did the apology video thing. He's also reached out to people in private from what I've heard and cleared the whole thing up. So I mean, I don't care. I just wanted to make more podcast episodes because I think those are some of the best content he's done. Carrying on. DJay. I haven't used this software yet. It is now officially on my to-do list. Well, actually, I think I have used it on my phone. Because I think they do an Android version that's not great, to say the least, but it's there, right? Do I have it on here? I swear I do. Oh, right. I was doing an install earlier. I needed something open on my phone here. Open it up, and there's the mixer board faders everywhere because it was still stuck on that screen. So I have it on my Android phone here. This is actually pretty great for anyone out there who just wants to try some of this stuff because you get a touchscreen based DJ setup. So, you know, if you're a parent out there and your kids want to get into trying DJing, if you got an iPad or something, just get the basic DJay app. For pro DJs, which I kind of consider, I'm more of a sound tech that happens to DJ. I'll always consider myself that, because when I talk to like real DJs who know how to do a whole bunch of the tricks of the trade that I don't, or have a whole bunch of passion that I don't have for certain aspects, I'm very happy to separate myself, because yeah, I'm just well aware that I'm not putting in the same level of effort into my DJing as some of these other guys who, like, it's part of their persona's not the right term, identity, right? Like, no, I'm a DJ. It's like, well, no, I DJ. I'm not a DJ. I DJ, right? And that's kind of how I look at it. I am a musician first, and then I happen to DJ, kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, the app for Android stuff is mediocre at best, but if you're a pro and need a backup, it really does work. I believe the Android one, I think I've mostly used it with Tidal. It doesn't do key lock and stuff unless you pay for the Pro. The only thing I don't like about the Pro is it is a subscription, but I believe you can pay once a year for like $50 or something. So eventually it becomes a bit of a deal, like if you use it for 10 years. But it does make it really easy to get into, and for better or worse, that subscription models is the way that it's going for just software in general, which has benefits of it keeps updates rolling out a little more consistently. And speaking of that, as I alluded to when I hovered over that, Apple Music is now integrated into DJay. Now, again, I'm not a user of this software, but I was pleasantly surprised when I clicked around a little bit on here. So there are some issues because of the way Apple Music and like the iTunes store, even though I don't think it's called iTunes anymore, I don't actually know. I still use it from time to time for buying a song here or there that isn't in one of my DJ pools. But yeah, from what I hear, for Apple users, in particular people who have like the app, like an Apple Music subscription, Tidal is about to lose a bunch of subscribers from DJs because it has a lot. I think Spotify's catalog might surpass it, but I don't actually know offhand. Yeah, and from everything I've heard, it's okay in terms of its integration. There are some talks about how they need to separate it, because I think because of the way that it is integrated, and this is what I was getting to before my brain went in 3 directions instead of following the tracks. Your music library is intermingled with songs you've added from Apple Music in general. Yeah, so that is a bit of a problem. I am going to recommend this. I've got a friend here in town that he runs the sound system for one of the local elementary schools, and all of his music is Apple Music stuff. Like, he's just built into that ecosystem. So I'm going to recommend to him the free version of this to see if Apple Music works with the free one. And if not, then the month they do a dance, he pays the monthly fee and puts together his set list and blah 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 that that month for it, because he's only DJing like twice a year. So another actual advantage of the monthly subscription model is for people who just don't use this stuff too often. So I think, man, and that's honestly an underutilized aspect of subscription model mixed with streaming stuff is, yeah, if you're looking at this and you're like, man, I'm an Apple guy, I've got a iPad or a Mac of some kind, and I DJ twice a year, this is perfect. You don't, like, I think a lot of people get into the mindset that every user is just like them. Like, everybody DJs weddings out in the middle of nowhere where there's no Wi-Fi available, like me. So I have to have a huge music catalog on hand. Huge, it's not as big as some out there, but you know, I usually have about a 60 gig collection in on my SD card, and then I back up with in a few ways, right? So on my phone, I actually have the playlist for whatever wedding I'm at on Tidal downloaded, because Tidal will let you do an offline cache on the phone. And then on my tablet, I do the same. And then on my computer, I usually just have the files proper. Or on my Mixstream Pro, because that's how I roll. Your mileage may vary. But anyway, yeah, like not everybody has my situation. There's a lot of people out there where they have, you know, unless the Wi-Fi goes down that day, they just want to use Apple Music. They're going to be fine. And if you're only DJing twice a year, yeah, you're putting your eggs in one basket, but like it's a pretty good basket. Now, as you can see, best apps of 2015. The older versions of this app on Android and stuff are not very good. Now, the Windows app, this intrigues me. And this is why I may try this. I need to see what their DVS stuff is like, and what if some of my controllers work with it, because I've got some older controllers and some newer ones, and I've got Serato DVS stuff. And I'm not happy with some of the changes Serato has made over the last year or two, that I'm looking to jump ship a bit there. If their Windows one, which actually has their Neural Mix, has DVS, and does have the Apple Music, this is looking like, even for PC users, this might be a good idea, which is awesome. The main downside to it, it's funny they haven't updated this yet, so it has those logos up top, but then down here for streaming doesn't have the Apple stuff yet. The main downside is DJ controller compatibility. Yeah, so it looks like you need their specific control vinyl, which is fine. Yeah, works with Mac and PC. That's good to see. Do Mac and PC. Hercules stuff, Mac and PC. Now this is actually kind of sweet. I've been meaning to try one of these. This is overkill for a whole lot of people out there, but I have a RME UFX, just really over the top for what I do, recording interface in the recording studio, that someday may get retired. If I do, something like this as a controller, with then the RME as my actual like analog outputs. Oh, that could sound so nice. And for what I do, this thing would be perfect. So, because that's the thing, the DJay 200 does not have analog outputs. It relies on your computer or other devices. Headphone, which now that so many phones and stuff don't have headphone jacks, it's a problem. But anyway, so then they have non-official stuff, and they actually have a pretty good list here. Like, they even have Vestax stuff. Like, that's pretty sweet. That's reaching back pretty far. And then like the DJ Control Starlight. This one, I have a video recorded. Oh, I went to the Canadian listing. Oh, did they go down in price? I thought these were a little more than that. Here in Canada, at least. I know in the States they're pretty cheap. But these things are actually sweet. They're, again, if I may end up just having one of these with a something else handling my ins and outs. But these little guys to control something like this software would be actually perfect. But yeah, it is a pretty big deal that they have that Apple Music thing. Nobody thought that was actually going to happen because ever since Spotify pulled out, it has been a lot of it's only a matter of time kind of talk about other streaming services, which is why thankfully, does it have it? I think it was under the Windows one. Yeah, Beatport and BeatSource are DJ specific streaming stuff, so like it has all the proper licensing and everything figured out. They might become a bit of a necessity eventually, but right now, like a lot of these companies that do that. Now, the advantage of Beatport slash BeatSource, because I think they're owned by the same parent company, is they have like edits for DJs and stuff. You don't see that as much on Tidal or on now Apple Music, but that's sweet that it's available just in case some of these other things fall through. But yeah, so DJ Pro, yeah, they managed to get Apple Music, which I think is going to really push them. Now I have a suspicion the Android one doesn't. Yeah, because it does work with Tidal. Oh. Okay. They must have done a major update to their, and it probably only works on the Pro one. Well, maybe, who knows? SoundCloud, Tidal, hardware integration. I believe for hardware integration you have to go to the Pro one, but that's fine. But yeah, that's actually surprising to me that the Android app works. Now, here's what I want to know. If I buy a PC subscription to this service, because it is a pay like monthly or yearly fee, if I buy that, can I log in on my Android phone, and then I also have this on my Android? Or do I have to buy two separate subscriptions because one is for Android and one is for Windows? That's what I want to know. So I may test this theory at some point. Just throw $10 their way and see how it goes. Because yeah, if that is the case, if you can get a subscription to either the like, I think if you own Mac stuff, I think it's self-explanatory because the OS between, like, an iPad is basically an iMac at this point, with the especially with those M dot whatever, right, or M1, M2, M3 now. Great chips. They really push the edge of what a like Apple computers are no longer low on the price for performance chart. They actually outperform their cost if you put them against a similarly priced PC, which is weird. But and for some, this boggles my mind. The M1 and now they're on M3 or whatever. The built-in graphics capabilities on these Apple integrated chips, it's better built-in graphics than what Intel does. Like, Intel has gotten better, but yeah, their integrated graphics is not up to the same snuff as Apple's, which is very strange. Ryzen might be there because a lot of the Ryzen chips, they've been being used in everything from Steam Decks to Xbox. Like, all this stuff is using the new AMD chips, but AMD has a bit of a known issue of just how it handles audio for real-time audio situations, like DAWs and whatnot. So anyway, I've been ranting and rambling about this for a while. It's a good thing this is a live stream and not a video. But yeah, let's get rid of that. Hope I didn't have any information on there. Cool. Well, the last big thing I wanted to talk about today has to do with Humble Bundle and Fanatical. Because I do think every DJ, every studio owner, all this stuff should keep an eye on these sites. But the recent one that has popped up, so I edit my videos on Vegas Pro 18 that I got for like $10 on, I believe that one I got from Humble Bundle. And it's great, right? You keep an eye out. Every now and then they have some really good software. Usually what it is like this big chorale one here, for example, 2013. They're probably right about to release a 2024. Did I say 2030? 2023. So they're probably about to release the 2024 version. So they want you to pick up this pack, and then they're hoping that you'll upgrade to the latest one, right? So same thing. They're probably on Vegas Pro 20 or 21 or something like that. Like I said, I got the 18 version for next to nothing. And yeah, like 27.20 Canadian, this bundle is worth it alone for just that. So if you need a video editor, sweet. But Music Maker. Now, Music Maker Premium, one should not cost $175.25. It isn't bad. Music Maker, I have really mixed feelings about this program. It actually works pretty well. Does it not work on 11 yet? Weird. It works pretty well. They've kind of gamified music creation on it. Like one of these days I may just do like a full video on this software. The problem with Music Maker is it's the way it handles its sounds. So these sound pools are proprietary. They're not just like a bundle sample or a bundle of samples that work on, use cookies. Get out of here. What they are is very proprietary stuff that just only works in Music Maker. But they don't tell you for this $13.75 Canadian value. If you're a professional, this is worthless. This is worthless for two reasons. One is they are not royalty-free samples. Which is a problem, right? So even though that seems like a good deal, saying 291 loops, those loops are not royalty-free. You have to pay extra, usually about 3 to 4 times extra, to get the royalty-free version that allows you to use these loops elsewhere. This might warrant its own video because I do have to rant about this and get the word out on like this. So yeah, they can and probably would come after you if you made money using this sound pool if you didn't buy the commercial license, and they won't let you upgrade to the commercial license for an extra fee. You have to repurchase it. And then I don't even know how it works. I even have to check. If you bought the commercial license because you made a song, you thought it was really cool, so you buy the commercial license, and then you own that, so you put out your commercially released track, but you used the non-commercial licensed sound pool to make it. Can they come after you? Or because you bought the proper one, can they not? Because you technically own it now, but you own it twice, and they're two different versions technically. It gets really annoying and really stupid. The other thing is, this 291 loops is a lie, in my opinion, or a stretch of the truth. Let's be diplomatic and legal here. 70 bass loops. It's actually 10 loops, and they do it in 7 pitches. Now, if they actually recorded 10 loops in 7 different pitches, I'd probably be less salty about this. But this has always annoyed me about this program. To me, it just sounds like they pitch shifted it 7 times. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh man, this bundle is so sweet, it kind of is, because it comes with a good video editor that Magix happens to own. But all these sound pools are, if you're a professional, are useless to you. If you just want to screw around at home, go hard, have fun. Pick something like this up for $30 and screw around with it, have a good time. There's nothing wrong with that, but the way that they've done this, and I say they gamified it, both in the practical sense of like when you go to use the Magix Music Maker software, it's real fun. It's really easy to put some stuff together. But there's so many microtransactions and stuff hidden in there that it starts to feel like you're playing an Electronic Arts game. And anybody who's a gamer knows how that feels. So it's actually not a bad program. And it being the premium edition means it will actually work with other VSTs. So if you're like me and you own a bunch of VSTs and stuff, it will work with those. So I do use it from time to time if I need to do soundscape stuff, because I got in a bundle at one point the premium edition, which then you can pick certain instruments and stuff. Again, it's very piecemeal. You have to buy everything individually, and then it doesn't work too well with some other companies' stuff, but kind of does. And for what I use it for, I actually really like it, but be very careful. This, if you're a professional, only buy this bundle if you need the video editing software. Now, if you don't need that, keep an eye out, because every now and then Mixcraft 9 pops up, and this is, if you're a PC user needing a loop-based instrument kind of DAW. Mixcraft 10 is what they're on now. I just got it myself, and I went for the Pro Studio version. When they say 7,500 loops, they actually mean it. And then it pitch shifts them and time stretches them depending on the song you're working on. So this, to me, Mixcraft 10 ideally, but Mixcraft 9, if you can hold out for, it often pops up under Humble Bundle stuff. And I have seen it on Fanatical before, I think. So similar idea. They'll put up Mixcraft 9 on it. You'll get it for like $20, and then you can. They just keep reminding you, hey, by the way, there's a new one out. That's kind of the general strategy. But yeah, it actually comes with that, and then it actually has virtual instruments and effects out of the gate. You don't have to piecemeal buy a bunch of them and things like that. And oh, well, this version comes with 3 virtual instruments, and you get to pick 2 of them, right? No, you actually get all of these. So I'm actually a big fan of Mixcraft. I really liked 9. It had some stability issues on my computer, but now that I have 10, I think those are solved. And I do have a bit of a wonky computer at the music studio. It doesn't get along with Waves plugins. At least 9 didn't. So, yeah. And yeah, this the Melodyne Essential integration is actually really sweet to do audio to MIDI conversion. Mixcraft 10 had that as well. Or sorry, 9 had that as well, where you can like legit, I like this loop. Right click, convert to MIDI. It's now MIDI, and then you put a different instrument over top of it. So I recommend that over this Music Maker stuff, because again, I want to attack them more in some regards. But the fact of the matter is, Music Maker is actually a pretty decent program. Is just the microtransaction-y side of it makes it less appealing to me. And just the fact that the majority of the stuff in it is not aimed at professionals and like legitimately. It's not like, oh, this is a toy. It's like, no. The licensing is broken. Like you can't actually use it for its intended purposes, because if you make a song and you put it out for anything other than free, to the point where I would be worried if I put it out for free on YouTube and then the video got monetized, right? Like if you put out a YouTube video and you did not buy the commercial license, I'm pretty sure Magix can take the rights to your video away. Like it's pretty bad. And yeah, so you have to be really careful with these sound pools. They're tons of fun though. That's the thing. They're easy to work with. They're fun. And it is the premium version of it. The basic version, like the freeware, pay us if you want one, is very limited on purpose. So this one, including the premium, because it would be an actual, like, if you do not own a DAW, period, this could be a good bundle. You just have to be real careful. Don't use the sound pools that come with it. You have to figure out, because there are ways to import sound files from others, but again, it's not integrated in a way that works the same as something like Mixcraft, that I can download sample banks and stuff and loops and whatnot from other companies and integrate it in very easily. Plus, it comes with a crap ton natively. So, and like, what are they charging for this thing now? Buy. Yeah, it's like $150 American for the Pro version, $80 American for the beginning one. The big thing, do they have? Do they have the thing that compares the two? Oh, I'm curious now. Back. 10 features. Compare. Hey, there we go. So, 9 or 10. This is not comparing to 9 in here. I wish they had that. Because I bought the upgrade on the Black Friday sale. That's another thing. If you keep an eye out for Mixcraft 9 for like $10 and you like it, hold out for Black Friday, and they always have the upgrade to Mixcraft whatever on like a hefty discount. So I think I paid like $30 to upgrade from 9 to 10. I think I initially paid $30 to upgrade from Recording Studio to Pro Studio. But the big difference, and this is something I really like about Mixcraft in general, is although they've changed some routing stuff here, the big difference is, because you can see a lot of checkboxes. The upgraded version has Melodyne built in, which gives you your conversion. And then everything else is basically the same. And it doesn't have limited tracks. It doesn't have this, doesn't have that. Now, the other thing is, if you go with the Pro version, you get a whole bunch more instruments and effects and stuff. So if you're like me and you love picking up random VSTs and trying out new things like that, yeah, this could be exactly what you want, is upgrading. But I'm going to do a full video on that. I saw that Fanatical had that bundle. So I just wanted to put out there that you again, it is actually a pretty good deal. Because this is the premium edition that works with outboard VSTs. It does have their Vita instruments and includes a bunch of them, which is nice. But it just be really careful. a cheap DAW that nickels and dimes you for a whole bunch of stuff can be a problem because you end up paying more in the end, and you want to be really careful with these sound pools. If you're just playing around at home, grab this. If not, all of these are useless to you because you can't use them commercially in any way, shape, or form. Or bam. All right. Well, I mostly just wanted to make sure that my lens and stuff was working here. I had a few things to get off my chest. I'm aiming to keep a quick live stream on Mondays kind of going, despite having some install stuff I had to do today. So if I have stuff to yammer on about next time, I will do that. But until then, I'll see you all another day.